Welcome to Towle Talks. Today, we talk about input. Okay, so last time we talked about objects and rigid bodies and how to move the rigid bodies, how to set the position. We didn't really talk about rotation, but we'll get into that a little bit later. One thing we want to look at now is how do we actually give input or control to these objects? We want the player to be able to control something. So today we're going to talk about inputs and using input axes. Input axes are useful because you assign it to some axis that goes from -1 to 1, or at least on your view, -1 to 1. And the user can select which button or how they want to actually control that input. So you don't have to worry about assigning a particular input to a particular key. In fact, that's really bad because that makes your program very difficult to port. So, without further ado, let's talk about inputs. Hello. So remember, we have this little capsule, this hop. We want this to be different. We want to change this. We want to be able to control how the capsule moves. The tempting idea would be to take the key and bind it to move in the capsule. Say if I hit D, I move the capsule right, A, I move the capsule left. The problem with that is it becomes really difficult to port your game to other platforms. So, Unity has this thing built in. It's really nice. You go to Edit, you go to Project Settings, and go to Input. You'll see a thing called Input Axes. Now, and basically these are going to be axes that you can get input values off. Some of them are going to be from -1 to 1, such as horizontal. If I go left, it'll be negative. If I go right, it'll be positive. And if not being pressed, it'll be 0. Some of them will be single dimensional, like fire. So I'm either firing it or I'm not firing it. There's no negative, there's no anti-fire, no negative fire. So what these axes are going to give me are a value between 0 to 1 or -1 to 1, depending on what kind of axis it is. Now, so when I do my coding, all my inputs are based off these individual axes. How I get the value to the axes can be assigned when I run the program, and so I can literally assign buttons or keyboards or mouse, clicks, whatever I want to my inputs when I run the program. Now, in order to get these, we have to open up our code. And I'm going to get these values by saying debug.log input I.get axis raw, and then the name of the axis, in this case horizontal, or just get axis. Get axis raw will give me a floating point between 0 or -1 to 1 for this particular case. So this would be like for a joystick. If I want to go a little bit left, I could get like -0.5, a little bit right, I get 0.5. And whereas horizontal will just give me 0, 1, or -1, depending, much more discrete. So I like using get axis raw for my directionals because it fits nicely with the vector 3's. So if we want to use this value and move our character, it would be tempting to do this. This would be tempting to do, but you'll see there's a little problem here. And what we're going to do is, or not this one. We're attempting to do this one. And what we're going to discover, there's a little problem here. I'm going to set my x movement from my rig.velocity to whatever my input horizontal is. Again, this will be a number between 0 or -1 to 1. Might be a little bit slow, but it in theory should work. I'm going to be creating a new vector every time. We'll see what happens here and why this is not going to perform like they expect. I run this. Now you see that I start floating really slowly down. What's happening is every step I'm stopping my vertical speed. So gravity has to start from a dead stop every step. That's why I'm floating down. So we don't really want to do that. Let's go look back at our code real quick. So we don't want to just set the vertical axis to 0. We want to fall normally. So the next idea comes, it's like, well, let's just add the x vector to our velocity. And this will work, except that you're going to get a different kind of control schema. If I run this, now what's going to happen is it runs. Now as I hit the left or right, I will be continuously adding to my horizontal speed, and it becomes very difficult to control. Maybe this is the idea of your game, but most likely this is not what you're looking for. So the next idea we can try is saying, well, we can just set it equal to, or the correct way I should say, is what we're going to do is we're going to set it to a new vector, but we're going to keep the myrig.velocity.y as our y vector. Remember, I can read the y vector, I cannot set it. Here I have input.getAxis raw, horizontal, and this is going to be my x input. This will stop me from moving forward. Like up here we set the velocity to 5. This will stop the forward momentum, but this will behave a lot more like what I expect. So I'll minimize this. I'll save this first. Minimize this and run it. Now, if I hit right, I move right. If I stop pressing the right button, I stop. Left, I move left, and the gravity is preserved. A little bit slow though. So one thing we can do is we can boost it, and I can multiply the whole thing by a scalar, but then I end up multiplying gravity's effect. I don't want to do that. What I want to do instead is I want to just multiply the individual component, horizontal or the x-axis component for my velocity, and this will give me a little faster speed and probably something closer to what I expect. So I'll minimize this again, run this, and now you'll see that my capsule moves twice as fast, left and right, while gravity is still being preserved. So those inputs, please play around with it, make sure you understand how they work. Add some of your own axes if you want. This has been Towle Talks. Until next time, cheers.